How's it going, everybody? Excuse me while I get set up. If this is your first live stream, then you know that it takes a couple minutes. Or you may not know that it takes a couple minutes, but we had to wait for some people to come on here. Lets me get the comments up. Also broke my tripod over the weekend. So it's interesting, my setup here. I have like a toy bin balancing as the third leg of my tripods. Hopefully, I have another one within a couple of days, but uh, yeah, it just takes a minute. So, hopefully, everyone is doing well. Hopefully, y'all had a good weekend. I'm actually watching Vikings preseason football while we do this, so that's pretty awesome. Football season is back, and then have soccer on at 10 o'clock, so it's just like win win. If you guys can hear me okay, let me know. I'm just, like I said, pulling the comments on here right now. Let's see here. All right. So how's everybody's weekend go? Did you guys have a good time? I'll tell you about our summer serve project. I'm still very, very excited about what we got done yesterday. I'll tell you about it here in a little bit. If you haven't seen the last video on our day at the Natural History Museum, it's not doing very well on YouTube for some reason. I guess people maybe have already been there and they've already seen that stuff, or maybe it's just not interesting. But I thought it was a really fun video, and it has an update there with Joanna as well. So if you guys have been wondering how Joanna's doing, she's doing really great. Almost there, guys. I normally like to try to, set things up ahead of time, but with this YouTube live streaming system, I can't seem to ever get to the comments in a timely manner. It just takes way too long. Although last week I figured out I could just go watch my own live stream, and so maybe that's just a better way to do it now. I think I'll do that, actually. That was way easier. Let's see here. So we're on our last week of summer serve already. It's crazy. It went really fast, and just to tell you a little bit about. It's really loud. Turn that off. Okay. All right. So Todd is in the house. I'll tell you about summer serve in a minute. Let me catch up on comments. Eli is here from California. Wow, that's impressive. Let's see. Kelly's here as well. Todd says the car broke down and the computer went. That's not good. So how do you watch these videos? Do you watch them on your cell phone, or do you have like a tablet, or do you guys watch on a computer? I'm kind of curious now. You can let me know. Let me know how you watch live streams, or just how you watch my videos in general. That would be interesting for me to know. It'd be good information for me to know. Sorry, Vikings just got a big play here. Do you guys watch football, or is it purely Steelers, or do you just watch football for football's sake? I have trouble watching a lot of teams now. Like I used to, if there was football on TV in the past, I would just always watch it. But now I pretty much just watch the Vikings. I'll occasionally watch the Steelers if they're on, and I think it's an interesting game. I'm pretty excited for the Steelers-Browns games this year, actually. I want to see how that goes. See if the Browns can live up to the hype. Meatloaf's in the house. Good to have you, Krista. Kevin is here. Says it's a great summer serve, but man, that list is so big. It is so big. It is daunting because Kevin and I did a map at the beginning of the year of every house that needed work within Kittanning Borough. Excuse me. I haven't yawned all day. It's like as soon as I start talking. So we did a list of every house that could use some work in Kittanning Borough, and we had a list of 246 houses. And so it's definitely a daunting list. What's really cool, though, is that this year the codes enforcement's really been stepped up, which has made a lot of people angry, but at the same time, it's caused a lot of people to take action. So we've had half of the yards that we've had in the past to cut. And then we've also had many houses around town that are getting work done that is that's moving forward without us having to initiate it. And so my guess is that Kevin, if you're willing to, then we'll take another trip around town, make a update to our map, and we'll check every house that we checked before and see if the work was completed or not. Because we'll have a dozen houses that Living Water has completed throughout the course of the summertime. And then my guess is that also we will have another 20 or so that'll be off of that list because of codes enforcement. And so we'll be able to have some hard data, and it'll say that, hey, 12% of the houses that needed work, that work has been completed over the course of the summer of 2019, and that'll be huge. That would be amazing. And so I just, I'm excited that we're now kind of being data driven about what we're trying to do, and I just think that I think it's a really great thing. We'll make that data. I'll definitely make a video on that, kind of post summer serve, and we are planning other projects as well into the fall. We already have a Rock the Block with Habitat for Humanity that we're planning for in the middle to end of September. I can't remember the exact date, but we'll definitely keep you posted on that. That's always going to be a great project that'll have several houses completed in one day. And Living Water, my guess is will be responsible for at least 2 or 3 of those. So pretty excited about that project coming up. And then we also were donated this week. Well, I won't tell you actually. It'll be in the next video. Hopefully the video will be up and live tomorrow morning. And so just be watching out for that video, and you'll get to see the incredible blessing that we had coming up for that happened for Summer Serve, and then some other stuff that we'll be able to do during the winter too. So we just have a great group of people that really want to serve the community. Our crew on Saturday was small but mighty. We had, I think, 8 people or so, and we did just an incredible amount of work. The house that we've been working on, we've just simply called it the Big House. Not that it's a jail, but the Big House just because it's massive. It's a 3-story house. It was almost 35 feet to the peak, and so we were able to complete that project yesterday, which honestly, I was, faithless me. I was not confident that we were going to be able to complete that before the summer was over. I thought that we might end up working on that, excuse me, right into the fall, but we didn't have to. That house is done. If you're driving along North Mckean Street, it's on the 400 block of North Mckean, and you will notice a house that looks incredibly different than it looked a month ago. That video will hopefully come out on Tuesday. So Vikings just gave up a 88-yard pick six. That's not a good way to end your drive. Backup quarterback though, so what do you expect? They're going to make some mistakes. Actually, it was totally the receiver's fault, looks like. That's unfortunate. Anyways. Back to comments. Todd says, no, football is so fake. Oh, sorry, Amanda's in the house. Good to have you, Amanda. Milo says, I dislike football. Baseball is great, though. Interesting. Football, I can see the fakeness of it, and now this year, I didn't realize they had changed one of the rules, so now you can review pass interference, which is like a subjective call anyways, so that's going to add a lot of more breaks to football, which is what annoys me most about it. So I'm not very excited about that rule change, or any of the rule changes for that matter. I wish they would just simplify the game and make it more like soccer in that respect. Soccer's pretty much had the same 11 rules since it was founded, and they just stick to that. Although they added review now too in soccer, so any goal can be reviewed. So egotistical waffles trying to get people to close the live stream again. Do not press Alt 4. Don't Alt F4. Don't do it. Let's see here. 3D Maker Kid's back in the house. Says, wow, it's past 9. Did not even notice. How is everybody? So you guys can let 3D Maker Kid know how you are. There was also someone encouraging you to smash that like button. 8 of you have neglected your duty to smash that like button. So I would just appreciate it if you would, take care of that. Gene says, hello, Pastor Andy. Good service today. It was a good service today. We had an incredible time in worship this morning, and then I did a sermon. We've been doing a sermon series on the gifts from um, God, basically God's gifts to us, different spiritual gifts. And so today we went through the definitions of all those spiritual gifts. Maybe Kevin would be kind enough to go over to the Living Water page and throw a link in here from the sermon. Kevin said he enjoyed it. I had several people comment on the sermon today, and it was pretty fun. We just had a great time in church today. Several new people, and then we have several people that are at Royal Family Kids Camp. We're having our very first Royal Family Kids Camp, which is a camp for abused, neglected, or abandoned children. And so they are going to start camp tomorrow morning. I know they're going to have a blessed week, but if you guys are praying people, I would very much appreciate if you would pray for Royal Family Kids Camp this week. As you can imagine, those kids coming from those backgrounds have some very difficult lives, and so it can lead to obviously different emotional issues, different mental issues, and so we just really would like to pray for that team that they would be able to be the blessing that I know God has called them to be. And so any prayers that you could throw Royal Family Kids Camp's way, I would appreciate it, and I know they would too. Let's see here. Kevin says he's always willing to help. Kevin, you got a servant's heart, man. I greatly appreciate you. Yesterday, the Summer Serve Project, we worked from 8 in the morning until almost 4 o'clock. And so that took, that's much longer than our normal Summer Serve Project. Then we weren't quite finished. And the only reason we weren't finished was because of 2 mistakes by me, and then something that we just didn't do. We didn't paint the very top of the house, the kind of the I guess it would be where like soffit and fascia would go, but it was just wood that was there, and so we didn't paint that. And after the fact, we were kind of like, well, we should probably paint that. So I got home and I was bothered by it, and so I messaged Kevin, I messaged Todd and Connie, and Christian came out and helped us out as well. And the 5 of us went and worked from 6 to about 7:30, and we finished it up. The house is completely done. It looks amazing, so much better than it did before. And hopefully that video will be out on Tuesday, so you can see just the amazing transformation. And then I'll also tell the story in that video of how the community really came together to make that happen. We've been donated within the past week now. We've been donated nearly. Let me make sure I'm quoting this number right in my head. Yeah, nearly $3,000 has come in to help us complete projects and to do things for Summer Serve and just general stuff that we can do through the church. And so, pretty awesome stuff. Margie says, or Margie, I don't know how you pronounce your name. Good evening. Had a wonderful time in Kittanning over the weekend. I now live in Ohio. Well, I'm sure glad that you're here, Margie, and hopefully Kittanning was really good to you. Did you get to go to the boat races at all? That was another cool thing that was going on. I got to go down today. I got some really cool drone shots of the boat races, and so I'm hoping to put that in the video on Tuesday. And if you guys don't follow me on Instagram, go over and follow me there. And I will try to post a drone video kind of compilation on Instagram from the boat races. I think it'll turn out pretty neat. Big Dog Bro says, congrats, Summer Serve, on the big house project. Yeah, we could not have done it without you, my friend. Todd was an absolute all-star yesterday. He and Connie got a paint sprayer donated to us for the day, which was absolutely amazing. And then Todd was up and down the ladders all day long. He pretty much painted the back garage portion of the house completely by himself. Kevin and I painted the front porch portion of the house. Kayla and Brad scraped the top of the house for almost 4 hours. So you can imagine the huge area that needed to be scraped. And then Todd went in with the sprayer, finished that up, and we did the trim work. It was a team effort, but Todd, you were our all-star for the day. You were the MVP. Alexa's in the house. Good to have you, Alexa. Always great to have you. Let's see here. Sorry, bear with me. There's too many comments now. I'm working my way down. Margie says, what church are you the pastor of? So I'm a pastor at Living Water Church in Kittanning. We are at 721 Woodward Avenue. So if you are looking for a great little church, we are both of those things, in my humble opinion, and we would just love to have you. So if you're in town again, Margie, and you want to stop in on a Sunday morning, Sunday at 10, that's when we are there for Sunday morning, and we also have a Saturday evening service at 6:30. So Amanda says, I hope you have good before and after pictures of that house. Absolutely. I have before and after pictures, and I have before and after videos. And so I'm thinking on that house, we may want to make an entire like just video specifically to that house, and we could show the 4 different weeks that we worked on it. Was it 4 weeks? No, I think 3 different weeks that we worked on it, and I could just maybe throw together all of the time lapses that I have from that house, because I think that would be a pretty powerful video of massive transformation in the community. AJ says, keep Tina in our prayers. Tina goes to surgery tomorrow. Yes, Tina is an essential member of our church. Tina is also one of my employees at State Farm, and Tina's going in for a pretty extensive shoulder reconstruction tomorrow, working on tendons, her rotator cuff, and her muscles, actually. A couple muscles need to be reattached in the proper places as well. So she's going to have quite the recovery time. And my other team member, Luke, is going to be out this week as well at Royal Family Kids Camp. So I'm going to be all by my lonesome. So that's why I didn't push to try to finish the Summer Serve videos yesterday. And I normally try to get those up on either Saturday afternoon or Sunday morning if I can. But this week I'm actually delaying them on purpose so that I don't have a week's worth of gap in videos. It's part of my YouTube strategy. Consistency is key. Melissa's in the house. Good to have you, Melissa. Always good to have you. Chris is upset that my mom's here. Margie's going to look us up next time. That's wonderful. 3D Maker Kid says, geez, Andrew, I'm trying to melt plastic with a soldering iron, and you are talking about likes. Well, it worked, didn't it? We're up to 12 now, although there's still 3 of you that have neglected your duty to like this video. I mean, it's upsetting. That's all I'm going to say. Egotistical Waffles getting the hammer down from 3D Maker Kid. I love it. Bobby Watt says, doing great things in Kittanning. Thank you, Bobby. And if you ever want to join us, we'd love to have you, my friend. 3D Maker Kid coming through with the sermon link. Thank you, sir. Let me make sure that it's working okay. I don't know if I did. Let me make sure I just tagged it right. Yeah, I did. Today was a little bit longer sermon, but it was packed with good information for you. So. Let's see here. So many comments. You guys are awesome. Oh yeah, Big Dog Bro says it didn't even rain. Yeah, it did not rain yesterday. It was interesting because we had a thunderstorm that was basically all around us again on Summer Serve, and the sky looked green at one point. It looked like it was going to get bad for a minute, but it didn't. We felt a couple little raindrops, but Todd and I are both proclaiming that those raindrops were not actual rain. They were just runoff from air conditioning, because God does not allow it to rain during Summer Serve. It just doesn't happen. And so we will be at, after next week's project, we'll be at 60 projects with no rain. And to get as random smattering of 60 days without rain in western Pennsylvania, if you don't call that a miracle, I just, it's a miracle. It just is. Hashtag save the turtles. I don't know. I don't know what that's all about, but I'm with you, Krista. The world needs turtles. Tim's here from the Rocky Mountains in the great state of Colorado. Good to have you, Tim. I've been listening to a book called um, what is it called? I just finished it. Sorry, it was a wonderful book about the drug war. It's not called Lost Connections. Sorry, what is it called? Dang it! Don't you hate when that happens? I got to look it up now. It's by Johan Hari, and the only reason I bring it up is we had a it was a lot about Colorado and the passing of the marijuana laws there, and so it was pretty interesting. I didn't know how all of that came about, as far as how Colorado did it versus how Seattle did it, and it was a really interesting read overall. Chasing the Scream is what the book is called. Let's see. Great to see the videos of the movies being filmed there. It looked like you had a nice dinner with your wife. We had a fantastic dinner. If you guys haven't been to, if you haven't been to the Inn at Lenape since they've changed management and changed the chef and changed the menu, it's really, really great. It's a really nice dinner out, and I would highly suggest it. My wife and I had a great night there. And if you can hit a nice summer night like we did, it was just absolutely beautiful to be on the port or on the deck they have, and the seating they have out there. The vibe that they've created is wonderful. Kira says, at church we painted a fence for our little house and put your handprint on it. That's pretty cool. Todd says, you have 4 kids and it's super quiet. They are in bed. That's why we do this at 9 o'clock. Tim says, you need to duct tape a paintbrush to the drone so you can paint way. That's not a bad idea, actually. It would be pretty interesting. I meant to take the drone up on that house project at some point, and I never did. I didn't do it one time. I get caught up in working, and then I forget to do the things that I want to do from a filmmaking perspective. But I did get some drone footage of the races, so I'll add that into that video, hopefully. Let's see here. A lot of you guys talking amongst yourselves, which is awesome. Egotistical Waffle says, you don't get likes when you beg for them. That's not true. I literally begged for them and I got 10 extras. So, Egotistical Waffle, if you haven't done it yet, you totally should. Amanda says, I cannot find where to hit the like button on the Android YouTube app. That is a travesty. I didn't even like it yet, actually. I'm one of the watchers. I didn't like it, so I'll like it now. There we go. Now we're got one more. Let's see. Meatloaf says, I don't have a metal straw. We have metal straws at our house. They work pretty good. They're kind of a pain to clean, though. 19 likes. Killing it now. We have 18 watchers and 19 likes. I don't know how that's possible, but I like it. It's good. Melissa says, don't know how long I'll be here. I've been awake since 5 a.m., worked at 6 a.m., then took the kids swimming after. Pretty exhausted today. Totally understand that. I was up at 5:30 yesterday morning and up again at 5:30 this morning. That's just too early for me, especially when you go to bed late. It just doesn't work out. Probably why I'm yawning. Okay. Tim says, I miss the boat races. Don't have them in the mountains at 14,000 feet. Yeah, the boat races, another cool thing about the boat races, almost everybody I met down there was not from Kittanning. They were almost like all the boaters, all of those people. That race brought in several hundred people from out of town coming into the greatest city in the world. Like that's the kind of event that we would need to have in Kittanning because it introduces the other people to our great town. And every single one of them that I talked to said, we just love Kittanning. The people here are so hospitable. You have such a beautiful place. This is the nicest venue that we have for boat races everywhere that they travel across the country. And so yeah, I love hearing that kind of stuff, and I love seeing out of town people get to experience Kittanning for the first time. Uh, Where are we at here? Oh, Chad says, give me your prediction on the Viking season and Adam Thielen. He's my keeper in fantasy football. So Adam Thielen is an incredible football player. Interesting fact, my parents, if you guys go back and watch the date night my wife and I had in Minnesota, we went to Detroit Lakes, which is about 20 minutes from where my parents live in Minnesota. And that is where Adam Thielen played high school football. That's where he was born and raised, is in Detroit Lakes, Minnesota. So it's a pretty cool story. And now he's one of the best receivers in the NFL. Adam Thielen is an incredible keeper. He's exactly who you want. My prediction for the season, it really depends on the offense. They switched offensive coordinators. I think the defense will be solid as usual. They still have all the parts that they need there on the defensive end. But it comes down to Kirk Cousins, and I don't know if I feel really good about that. I do think they're going to sneak into the playoffs. My prediction is 10-6, and they will lose in the divisional round of the playoffs. That's my prediction. Egotistical Waffle says, when is the Fortnite video coming? So whenever you guys want to do it, let me know and we'll get on this on the calendar. We can bring some equipment over to my second floor at the building, and we can have our Fortnite video there. These guys, the 10th grade class at Armstrong, wants to get me to play Fortnite for the first time. I think that would be a fun video, and I think it would be cool. I think it'd be entertaining. And maybe you guys could tell me like what equipment that I would need to kind of record the screen. I think it's called gosh, is it Elgato or something like that? Is that like the streaming setup that people use to record? If it is, let me know, and maybe I can get one of those as well. And maybe we could make that a thing. Okay, Elgato capture card. Yeah, I thought that's what it was called. So, thank you, 3D Maker. Kiera says, well, I have to go to bed soon. I have to wake up early because I have to leave for York, PA. Well, very cool. Kiera, it was good to have you tonight. So if you have to go to bed, don't feel bad. We appreciate you being here, especially joining in the conversation. That's always great. Sorry, you guys are talking amongst yourselves, which I think is great. Todd says, Andrew, a bubble hockey game will wake you up. I know it would. Just sitting next to that one they have at Bugsy's will wake you up. That thing is loud. Tim says, I'm sad right now. I got outbid on a house I was trying to buy in Kittanning, but I'll keep looking. So I have a place to bring my ski boat to. Yes, that would be so sweet. I can't wait for you to be back in Kittanning, Tim. I think that's amazing that you're trying to buy a house here. Very excited about that. And Tim, if you're looking for a great church, you can come down to Living Water Church. AJ says the Steelers are going the whole way. I really don't think so. I think it's going to be a tough year for the Steelers, to be perfectly honest. My prediction for the Steelers is 7-9, lots of terrible towels wet with tears, and my prediction is the Cleveland Browns, will finish with a better record than the Pittsburgh Steelers. That is my prediction for the 2019-2020 Pittsburgh Steelers season. Judy says, cannot get picture or sound for some reason, only comments. Judy, sounds like an internet problem. If you close the app and open it up, maybe you will be able to get the rest of it. Although you can't hear me, so why am I even giving you advice? That was stupid. Let's see here. 3D Maker Kid says, you can jerry rig your laptop to do it. Okay, good. That's what I need. That's the kind of info I need. Egotistical Waffle says, put up a Smash Brothers tournament. We could totally do that. I have some friends that would be happy to take you on in Smash Brothers as well. I'm not very good at it, but I just try to play spoiler when it comes to Smash Brothers. So I play with Luigi. He has to be dressed in pink clothing. So Luigi in pink and Jigglypuff. That's my two best characters. But I'm pretty terrible. Meatloaf says, Ladislaw, favorite ice cream ASAP. So my favorite ice cream, I just love ice cream, you guys. It's tough. Like a cookies and cream is a good fallback. My wife and I had Snickers Blizzards yesterday. That was amazing. Snickers Blizzard is back at Dairy Queen. I don't know if you knew that or not, or I don't know if you even knew they were gone, but Snickers Blizzard's been gone for like 5 years probably, and now it's back. So very exciting times. Vikings just scored. It's now 10-10. I don't know what other ice cream though. Like a like some kind of like a butternut, something like that is really good. Peanut butter, like peanut butter ice cream is wonderful. Anything with like I like make my own with chocolate chips and peanuts at home. That's one of my favorites. I I haven't run into really any ice cream that I don't like. I just like ice cream. Connie says, "Now I'm craving a Hawaiian Blizzard." Yeah, you got to try the Hawaiian Blizzard yesterday. It sounded really good. I think I'm gonna try that sometime. I do like fruit ice cream. Like I love strawberry ice cream. Basically, any kind of fruit in ice cream I love. But I always end up with chocolate somehow. It's just too hard for me to resist chocolate. Can't help it. Okay, guys. I think we are pretty much done. Oh, Amanda says, I got a few more comments here. Too many people broke fillings on the Snickers Blizzards. The caramel was like industrial tar when I worked at Dairy Queen in high school. I heard that they stopped serving Snickers Blizzards because it was like they had a dispute between the Mars Candy Bar Company and Dairy Queen. Like they wanted to jack up the price of Snickers, and Dairy Queen just wasn't having it. That's what I heard happened. I don't know if that's true or not. But I can totally believe people breaking their fillings on them. Maybe they've solved that this time around. That's hilarious, actually. Meatloaf says, "Okay, now I need favorite movie. Favorite movie. I'm just not that into movies anymore. I would have to pick something Christian, especially for the live stream. I really love the movie Fireproof. That's maybe that's my favorite. Um, yeah, check out Fireproof. Oh, we were talking about one the other night called End of the Spear. End of the Spear is a fantastic movie. Um, maybe better than Fireproof. I don't know. Check them both out." Kevin says, "How many recipes do you utilize for your apples?" So obviously we make apple crisp for pretty much every potluck at church. I make apple butter. We make apple sauce. We just eat some of them plain. My girls like to pick them right off the tree and eat them. And what else do we use? You gave me a book though on apple recipes to try, and so I'm definitely gonna be trying some of those. We're gonna get more adventurous with the apples, but that's what we make so far. I also want to try like apple muffins, like an apple cinnamon muffin, but the apples do get used. We had a lot more apples last year than this year as far as saving, so I'm not sure how that happened. Or maybe I just made more apple butter this year than I made last year. I'm not really sure. Tim says, "I see several names in the chat that sound familiar. I probably went to school with many of your relatives a long time ago." Very cool. That's awesome. Melissa wants a banana split. Todd says, "I want to praise God that I did two 360s on 28 Friday." I saw that on Facebook. So you spun your car twice, and somehow you're still here with us. So that's pretty great. Amanda says, "FYI, some of the DQs use Hydrox, not Oreos." That is That's terrible. Hydrox are not as good as Oreos. Now, if they use the ones from Aldi's, those are just as good as Oreos. So, if I owned a Dairy Queen, I would buy cases of Oreos from Aldi's, and I would use those. And I know that no one would be able to tell the difference. Melissa says Krista has to read Of Mice and Men this year for school. I love that book. I've actually never read that book. Interesting. Maybe I'll have to read it. I have bought an Audible subscription, so maybe I'll put Of Mice and Men. Maybe I'll download that on Audible, and I'll read along with you, Krista. I know it's a classic. I've never just made it to that one. The next one I'm reading right now is called Eaters. Leaders Eat Last is what it's called. So I'm about a quarter of the way through that, and when I take the lift back tomorrow, I'll get another hour in on the drive. So hopefully I'll finish Leaders Eat Last this week, and then maybe I'll order Of Mice and Men for my next one. I think I already have a credit available, and then I have some serious traveling to do over the coming 2 weeks. So I'll be driving probably 20 hours at least. So that's when the Audible subscription really comes in handy because I can just listen as I drive, and it's great. I can take in tons of information, and I also have an Economist subscription too, so I can listen to the Economist, catch up on world news, read a couple books on the drive, and it works out really well. I can feed my mind amidst my crazy life. Amanda says, You need to read Of Mice and Men. Okay, I'm definitely going to read it now. Now I have two recommendations. Let's see here. Amanda says, You will cry ugly tears, though. Very possible. Very possible. Krista says, Andy got TikTok and isn't enjoying it as much as he should be, which is kind of unfortunate. Um, Krista, I have to tell you, I had to dislike many things on TikTok, but now it seems like they really have a pretty decent algorithm, and the videos that I'm getting now are pretty good, and so I'm enjoying TikTok more. I'm trying to figure out how can I use TikTok to make Kittanning videos. Like, would it be best with just drone footage? Would it be best if I just did like little funny things throughout the day? I was thinking about maybe like a meter maid themed TikTok. I'm just trying to think through like what are maybe some funny things or some entertaining things that I could use. 30 seconds or less videos, and drone footage is what I have so far. Meter maid videos would be fun. Maybe Kevin and I could like test out our raps on there. That would be pretty sweet. Anyways, I think we're good for the night. We're 38 minutes in. We've had a wonderful conversation. I don't want to drag it out too far, and I've really enjoyed my time with you guys. It's been another great live stream. Uh, Make sure to check out two great videos coming. One on Monday featuring a local business and all the different blessings that we have. And then Tuesday, hopefully, I'll have out the Summer Serve video, and you guys can see the amazing work that was completed on the biggest project that we've ever completed at Summer Serve. 60 plus weeks, or no, sorry, 59 weeks in total so far for Summer of Serve. 55 days that we've served on hundreds of projects. And this is the biggest one we've ever finished. Happened yesterday, and the video coming on Tuesday. Amanda says, I heard from a state trooper that the meter maid tickets unmarked police cars. I totally believe it. She is ruthless. She's super nice, but she's ruthless. Tim says, thanks for another enjoyable Sunday evening. Swan says, good seeing you, Andy. Good to see you too. Absolutely. Melissa says, I have to message you. Message me when we're done here. Amanda says, good night, and good night. Have a wonderful evening, you guys. See you in the next one.